Hello and welcome to the Genuine Learning Blog. My name is Melissa Glasso, and I'm excited to have you here with me today to talk about a proposed ethics change for SSAE engagements. So, attestation engagements are different than financial statement engagements because the subject matter is something other than a financial statement. This is sometimes problematic in the terminology used in ethics engagements that make reference to financial statements. And so, PEEC is looking to make some changes to the actual language used to describe these types of engagements. In addition, this is a small step in a much larger process to really reevaluate SSAE or attestation engagements to make sure that the standards are holistically being evaluated. So this proposal was issued on June 5th of 2025, and it's titled Proposed Changes or Proposed Revisions Related to Engagement Subject to the Statements on Standards for Attestation Engagements. And this is really looking at how independence interpretations can be applied when the engagement is not about a financial statement. So audits and reviews, right, are done under the SSAEs and the SARs, but the subject matter is always a historical financial statement. The attestation standards can be done on compliance with the lease term. It can be done on MD&A. It could be done on compliance with sustainability rules. And so the subject matter is pretty endless in that scenario. And as a result, we have seen some difficulties in applying the ethics interpretations when they're using financial statement specific terminology. So 1.297, which is for attestation engagements, apply to any attest engagements, including those that do not include financial statements. So the SSAEs, the SARs, and the SSAEs. Attestation just means you're issuing a report. And we've had new types of engagements like ESG-related items that have increased the number of SSAE engagements that are out there. PEEC has decided that there's so much activity that we really need to think about this more holistically and see if we can, address this in a big fashion. So they're actually proposing a 5-phased approach, and we are only looking currently at phase 1, which is the clarifications that they're making. So this current proposal is this some clarifications that they're making specifically around terminology. Then in phase 2, they'll harmonize with what's going on at AICPA. Then they're looking to make the substantive considerations for the SSAEs. So today we're making some targeted changes for application purposes, but a more holistic approach. And then phase 4 would look at some of the recent SSAEs 18 and 19 and AUP engagements and compilation engagements and relook at those from an ethics perspective. And then finally in phase 5, there would be some non-authoritative guidance provided. In terms of this current proposal, the two biggest things that they're focusing on is a new definition in the term period covered by the attest report. Currently, we use covered by the financial statements, but in an attest engagement, again, the subject matter could be anything other than a financial statement. And so using a more neutral term would make it easier for entities to apply this when making decisions around the around reporting. And in addition, it helps with things like period of time. Financial statements can have a long period of time as opposed to being a point in time where some attest reports may be point in time. In addition, it adds a lot of clarity over the application of the SSAE engagements. They use terminology like subject matter, right? So the subject matter could be a wide variety of items. And so using that language and adding more examples that would be applicable to SSAE engagements and not just financial statement engagements. So again, it's a very targeted proposal. It's phase 1 of 5 phases. And the goal here is to really just, make some easy to hit items before we get into some of the deeper dives. In terms of the proposed effective date, they would allow firms time to obviously make some changes. They're recommending a 6-month after they post it in the Journal of Accountancy. So that's when they tell you that things are changing is when the ethics proposals are finalized and they're posted in the Journal of Accountancy. That starts the clock for implementation. So if you do a lot of these attest engagements, I'm sure the PEEC would love to hear from you. Comments are due September 5th, and you can just email your response to ethics-exposuredraft@aicpa.org. All right, so that's a wrap on this week's blog. I hope that you found this interesting and that if you are impacted by this, that you will consider providing a comment. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope to see you on a future blog. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.